I'm sick. I am absolutely sick to my stomach after watching that game, watching that performance, and just watching the Knicks not being able to get the job done for so many different reasons. First things first, shout out to the chat gang. Shout out to Knicks Nation. I see you guys. Thank you so much for joining the stream and for being part of this live. I really do appreciate it. You can be anywhere in the world right now, anywhere on this planet this evening, on anybody else's stream, but you chose to be here with me, and I really do appreciate that. Unfortunately, my stats are not working in front of me for YouTube at the moment, so if you see me kind of go to another screen and check, I'm looking at the stats because I can't see them openly. But I appreciate you guys, and, you know, we're obviously going to talk about tonight's game 4 loss against the Indiana Pacers. That is right. This is the post-game show for the New York Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers. Game 4, where now the Indiana Pacers are now up 3-1 over the New York Knicks. The Knicks now trail this series, headed back to MSG for Game 5. Obviously, not the situation you want to find yourselves in. And if you look at this game and you want to just think about, why did the Knicks lose? What are some of the reasons the Knicks lost this game? How about allowing the Pacers to run in transition and not being able to meet them? How about open three-point shots? But what about the worst thing of all? What about turnovers? The Knicks turned the ball over so many different times today. I think the Knicks starters as a whole had 10 turnovers combined. And Josh Hart, who Tom Thibodeau, for some reason, decided to continue to go out there late into the game with, had 5 turnovers himself. And if that's not bad enough, New York can't get any more offense besides Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby, who had some great games offensively. But everybody else, kind of a ghost. Everywhere else we needed contributions, we really didn't get them. And the adjustments that we saw from Game 3, even though we saw some of them in the second half of this game, we really didn't see a lot of those same adjustments. Again, you can look at a lot of different reasons why New York lost this game, but for me, the turnovers, the fact that New York could not get into the fast break enough, and they allowed Indiana to run in transition, get easy buckets. We're fouling them, so they're going to the line, and then they're getting open threes. When you're allowing a team to do that, and you're not able to make your own shots, and you're not able to make your own shots, and you make it hard on yourself, how do you expect to win any game? It is going to be very difficult. The Knicks put themselves into a hole, and Tyrese Halliburton absolutely cooked the Knicks. Pascal Siakam once again proved that nobody on New York can actually stop him. If he's running in transition, nobody's stopping Siakam. Not one. And even if he's set at times, if he's going up against the right player, nobody's stopping him as well, too. Aaron Nesmith, I think his ankle is okay. He's dunking. He's hitting threes. He's playing good defense. A lot of Indiana Pacers players stepped up where some New York Knicks players really didn't step up in the ways that we needed. And if you look at the Knicks bench, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But if that's not bad enough, ladies and gentlemen, near the late stages of this game, we see a devastating injury to Knicks all-star Karl-Anthony Towns. He's trying to guard Aaron Nesmith. Obviously, they're going up against each other. And clearly, Miles Turner pushes Karl-Anthony Towns into the way of Aaron Nesmith. Once that happens, they collide knees. Towns goes down, writhing in pain. I'm talking about he's on the bench covering his face because he's in so much pain, he doesn't even want to look at the cameras. So we drop game 3. So we drop game 4. We lose this game to the Indiana Pacers. Essentially, give it to the Pacers because we're not making our shots and we are turning the ball over. We're not passing the ball well, and even worse than that, we are predictable in where we're passing the ball. What does that cause? Deflections and steals, which causes more turnovers, which causes them to run with the ball, which is exactly what they were doing. So we allow Indiana to do all that, shoot that way, turn the ball over, basically gift them game 4. Don't make the right adjustments like we need to, like we did in game 3. And then on top of all of that, Karl-Anthony Towns severely injures his knee. When I'm talking about limping, he is limping. Yes, he closed out the game, but he didn't look like Karl-Anthony Towns when he was closing out the game. He looked hobbled. He looked frustrated. He looked he looked hobbled. He looked frustrated. He looked extremely winded, and he looked like he did not want to be a part of that game any longer. But he was out there because he knew he had to be out there. I'm not sure what his status is going to be for game 5. Knowing Karl-Anthony Towns, he is going to do everything in his power to go out there and be active and available for New York. But honestly, what does that mean? Do we get 50% Karl-Anthony Towns, 90%, 100%? Where is he going to be in terms of health? Because if Karl-Anthony Towns is severely injured, if he can't go, or if he's not fully healthy, it's going to affect the Knicks and affect what they're going to be able to do in game 5. Obviously, New York's backs are against the wall. We are down 3-1. Everybody thinks the series is over, and I can understand why. Most teams in this position normally do not come back, but New York has already proven we are not most teams. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's not. But New York will always have a chance unless they are taken down and beaten 4 times in a row. But before we get to that, we're going to have to break down this game and all of the things the Pacers did, the Knicks couldn't do, and what we couldn't address as the game continued. Turnovers killed us. Our lack of defense inside killed us. Our adjustments killed us, allowing them to shoot open threes, allowing them to go to the foul line so many times. And all of the calls by the referees. Talk about an insane game for the referees. There was a sequence that we're going to go over in the 4th quarter where I thought it was New York against the refs because I could not believe what I was watching in front of my eyes. We're going to talk about all of those different situations and break down all of these latest reports today. If you're enjoying the content and you like this channel and love all the updates that we drop on a daily basis, the biggest favor you can do for me is go ahead and please hit that subscribe button and also have notifications on, and also have notifications on as well too. So that way, anytime we drop any content for the channel, you get notified. And now, let's get started. Karl-Anthony Towns injures his knee in a game 4 loss to the Indiana Pacers. I mean, it could not have gotten worse for New York. I thought in that first quarter, even though they allowed Indiana to drop 43 points on them, I thought they were still in the game. It was still a close game. And even though nobody was really playing defense in that first quarter, it was just a lot of shooting, a lot of good looks, some shots not going down. But honestly, it was a lot of running and gunning for the Pacers. They were destroying the Knicks in transition. For some reason, in the second quarter, they stopped doing that. And New York saw that. They took advantage and they were able to get back into the game. But then Indiana, like they did all game long, closed out the quarter extremely strong. And that allowed them to get the momentum going into each and every quarter. And New York was not able to build on anything because any type of momentum that we had, any lead that we had, The Pacers, they would answer it, or they would go on their own run and answer it in that way. And we would just have to try to battle back. It would go back and forth. And it stayed that way even going into halftime. But the game was still close for me. And I know if you look at the second quarter, and obviously you see there, the Knicks were down, I believe, 10 points in that second quarter at some point in time. Now, obviously, they fight back. They get back into the game, and they try to make a game of it. However, the Pacers continue to attack and go back and forth, and we're not able to stop their attacks. And even when they are attacking and we're able to get a body in front of them, if we overhelp, which we were doing, we are going to allow an open shooter to be active and available on the wings. Either Siakam, Nembhard, Neesmith, Halliburton. I mean, we left so many players open from three because either we rotated late, we were not communicating, or we were overhelping on defense. And the Pacers took full advantage of that. But for me, that third quarter going into the fourth quarter, where we were able to kind of respond, try to get back into the game. But to start that quarter, the Pacers started off strong and would not let the Knicks try to control it. That's where the Pacers, for me, took full control of this game and started to mount their comeback. They ended that quarter strong. And then in the fourth quarter, I mean, even though the Knicks tried to come back and we tried to fight back, they were dominating. They were making their threes. The foul calls, I could not believe the amount of calls against the Knicks during that fourth quarter. That one sequence, I think it was, a minute, 15 seconds? I'm not sure. It might have been an NBA record where the refs called, I think, 3 or 4 consecutive fouls on New York, putting Indiana in the bonus at around the 7-minute mark. So that means every single time they were touched at that point, they were going to the line. That effectively killed New York. But then allowing open threes like the dagger three to close out one of these plays in the fourth quarter where the Knicks are trying to come back into the game, and you allow former Knick Obi Toppin to get a wide open three to close out that play where there's a few seconds left on the shot clock and he hits that game, there's a few seconds left on the shot clock and he hits that ball, he hits that three, he gives them confidence, and that's essentially a dagger shot. And the Pacers were basically in control of this game for most of that fourth quarter. We tried to battle back. We got it to 6 points a number of times, but we could not get it past that. They continued to push that lead back up for as long and as large as it was. They had a 15-point lead at one point in time, and we could not overcome it no matter how hard we pushed because of the amount of foul calls, the amount of open threes, lack of adjustments. Again, I could go over and over with this. We're going to break down some of these other key points. But before I continue with this, I want to go to the chat gang, see what you guys have to say, and break down some of your comments. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do that. 1 second here. I just got to check out the stats really quickly. Shout out to everybody who's watching right now. I appreciate you guys. I know we got a super chat in here, so I want to put that out here. First of all, I love the enthusiasm. $5 super chat from my guy, CL Kenrick. And he says, Knicks will not give up. Going to game 7. Can't count us out yet. We're definitely going to get to that talk. And I promise you, we're going to talk about what the Knicks are likely going to have to do going into game 5. Because I don't even want to talk about a game 7 right now when we're not there. But I understand the sentiment. And I really do appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much for that. We are going to go to the live chat. Just give me a second for this thing to load here really quick. Here we go. 1 second, guys. Just loading up the live chat. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a second. There we go. That's it. Okay. All right. So shout out to the live chat. I appreciate you guys. Obviously, we're going to talk about a few different things from tonight's game. We're going to talk about why the Knicks lost this game. A couple of other standpoints from the post game. So you obviously want to pat for that. Stay tuned for that. We're obviously going to talk about Karl-Anthony Towns and that injury as well, too, and so many other different points, I promise you. But going forward, let's go ahead and continue with your comments today. Carl Knight. I almost said Karl-Anthony Towns. Carl Knight says, Thibs is the most stubborn person ever. Brunson should have not played that whole third quarter, and Hart should have not played over 35 minutes. You know what? I was wondering why we didn't see more of the adjustments that we saw in Game 3 in Game 4. I thought that Tom Thibodeau didn't do as much as he did beforehand during this game, and I thought that hurt New York in a couple of different areas. So good point there. Eddie Mesa says, and bring it back to Madison Square Garden. And they over till the fat lady sings, and I ain't heard her sing yet. You're right. It's not over. We have a lot of basketball to play, so I agree with that. Jock Carter says, I'm worried about Cat, man. If he doesn't play, the season might be over. I definitely agree with you. It hurt, man. Seeing Karl-Anthony Towns go down like that, it really did hurt. We're going to break down exactly the injury. We're going to talk about it a little bit as we talk about the post game today, because obviously it happened during the game. So we're going to break down all of those things as we continue here. But let's continue here. Max B says, Brunson should just play solid defense and stop looking for charges or complaining when he doesn't get the call on the other end. You know, Brunson played some pretty good defense tonight. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying he played pretty good defense throughout the entire game, but there were some plays anyways where I thought he was fronting his defender, trying to get in front of his guy, at least trying to make it difficult, trying to make them not pass him the ball, or even when they did pass him the ball, getting into the passing lane and trying to make something of it. He did that a few times, so I'm not going to knock him a lot, but I do understand there are some times where he looks for the charge versus trying to, you know, actually be on top of the guy or be in front of him, trying to take the ball away. But that's not really Brunson's game, is it? Brunson's really not the type of player that's going to do that. He's not going to stand in front of you and steal balls away from you and go for jump balls. He's never been that player. So you have to understand what you're asking of him when you're talking about Jalen Brunson. Junior says, I can't type what I think about the Knicks because I'd get canceled or banned, but it's over. Can't be delusional. Listen, I know it's easy to think that it's over, and I know it's easy to think that the Knicks may not have a chance here. But teams have done this before. Teams have overcome this deficit before. So just because it looks like it's impossible, it doesn't mean that it is. We got to keep the faith. It's not over until we're knocked out completely. You got to still believe. Pete says, we have the talent, but do we have the right coaching staff is the question. You know, at times you wonder about that. But let me tell you this. After Game 3, everybody was really complimenting, After Game 3, everybody was really complimenting Tom Thibodeau, complimenting what he was doing and all of those things as well, too. So I don't think we can go so far and say, well, do we have bad coaching now? The coaching that we have got us to Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, is going to get us to Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and we don't know how much further beyond that we're going to get. There are some issues with the coaching. There is no doubt about it. But how many other coaches can come into this environment, this position, and deliver on this level? I don't think that list is going to be long. And honestly, now that Tom Thibodeau has got this team to the ECF, I don't know if there's going to be a coaching change. I don't know if there's going to be a coaching change, in my opinion. I'm going to get some water, guys, because if I don't, I'm just going to keep getting dry mouth and talk over myself. So just give me a second. What stat do I want to show you guys as... Well, look at this for a second. This is Karl-Anthony Towns and the foul. Check this out for a second as I go get some water. I'll be right back. All right. Got my water. I'm good. As you can see, the graphic on the screen, we are going to be talking about that very soon, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. We're going to cover that Karl-Anthony Towns injury is in the title, so we're going to get to it as we continue throughout the postgame. And I'm going to look through my phone, obviously, just to make sure throughout the postgame if there's any updates about Karl-Anthony Towns. or if there's any updates about OG Anunoby, because he did kind of injure his ankle. It wasn't a major injury, but he looked like he was injured after somebody kind of fell on it. It didn't look like it fully rolled, but it was, it was kind of there. So something to look at and talk about. So I don't see anything as of yet, but it's early right now. So, we'll talk about it. But as of right now, I don't see any updates about Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm looking back at the stats right now just to make sure we're good, because, again, I can't see it on my end of YouTube, unfortunately. Does not show me that right now. Mothman said Evolve says, F the refs. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. The referees tonight, we're going to go over that sequence in the fourth quarter where they called the Knicks, I think, for 3 or 4 consecutive fouls in about 15 seconds. I don't even know how that works. And even after that, it was another foul after another foul. The Pacers are in the bonus at about the 7-minute mark. It was ridiculous. Max B says, OG tried really hard. He was good tonight. OG was good tonight on offense and on defense. He did everything that he could. He did try his best, but obviously we need a little bit more. Mikal Bridges, I thought he was good initially in the first quarter because he was attacking and he was aggressive. But then he stopped doing layups. He stopped attacking. He wasn't aggressive on defense as well. He allowed Tyrese Halliburton to cook a lot in that game, and we kind of saw what happened. We kind of saw the results. So, I mean, we need some more from Bridges as well, too. Also, this is from Carl Knight. It's going to be our last comment before we go to the rest of the postgame. Carl Knight says, also, the amount of wide out layup we missed were just pure insanity. Yeah, we missed a lot of open shots. So I'll definitely give you that. So shout out to the chat gang. I really do appreciate you guys. I promise you, if you guys watch the postgame enough, you guys know we're going to talk about the game. We're going to break down a few things, and then we're going to go jump straight back into the chat gang to get to your points, get to your, your takes, and really to see what you guys want to talk about, if anything. So going back to this game, as I stated, the Knicks in that first quarter were going back and forth with the Indiana Pacers. And honestly, I felt like the Knicks could get whatever they want as long as they could stay in front of the Pacers and in front of that pace. But it was very hard for them to do that in that first quarter because Indiana, they were running in transition a lot. But in the second quarter, and really for a lot of that game after the first quarter, I felt like Indiana wasn't running as much. So because of that, it actually helps the Knicks because the Knicks do not run like Indiana. Their pace is a lot more deliberate. They always look to control the pace, control the ball, control the flow. So playing at a slower pace, making Indiana more of a half-court team, that benefits New York. But it's not going to benefit New York if you're fouling them. It's not going to benefit New York if you're giving them open threes, if you're over-helping, if you're allowing them to drive and attack on drives and not sending anybody to go out there and do anything to that player. And if you do, you're not rushing back to that shooter in the corner, so you're allowing them to get a clean look. The amount of clean looks or open looks the Indiana Pacers got tonight was absolutely outstanding. It was one of the main reasons they won the game. And when you take a look at the shot chart and you take a look, not even the shot chart, excuse me, when you take a look at the stats and you take a look at the shooting percentage, you're going to understand why the Indiana Pacers were so good. Fast break points. You're going to understand why the Indiana Pacers were so good. They were also doing good on the rebounding end as well. Every single area they needed to do well in. Defensively, they were doing well. But the best area, and it was also on the Knicks. The Knicks caused this, and Indiana caused this because of their defense. It was turnovers. Turnovers are the main reason New York lost this game. Adjustments, playing Josh Hart too much, not playing DeLon Wright enough, not playing Deuce McBride enough, maybe not staggering Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns enough. Absolutely. That was an issue as well, too. But you know what? That would have been less of an issue if we didn't turn the ball over as many times as we did. Doing that and allowing Indiana to basically shoot open threes or open shots or shots with so much space, that's why the Knicks dropped this game. And that's why New York lost this game to Indiana 130 to 121. That is the final score of this game. And now the Pacers take a 3-1 lead into the Eastern Conference Finals. And Tyrese Halliburton had himself a game. Tyrese Halliburton had himself a game. 32, 12, 15 with 4 steals. Siakam had himself a game. 30 and 5. Nesmith, 16 and 3. Jalen Brunson, 31 and 5. But honestly, it was a quiet 31. After that first quarter, hold up, we're not going to go that slide yet, but we're going to get there. With Jalen Brunson, after that first quarter, where it was essentially Jalen Brunson versus Tyrese Halliburton, that quarter was special in that way. And I loved seeing that action. I got my popcorn. I was ready. It was three-pointer after three-pointer. It was drive after drive, floater after floater. I loved it. Wish I saw a little bit more defense. Defense would have been nice. I don't like seeing 43 points in the first quarter, but the Knicks were close. It was a good battle. I liked it. And I liked what Jalen Brunson did in that first and what he tried to do for the rest of the game. But honestly, what it was very difficult for him to do because of what the Indiana Pacers were doing and how they were trying to play Jalen Brunson. And all of those reasons caused them to struggle just a little bit down the stretch and caused them to be less efficient because of all the defensive looks he was seeing, the switches. And again, that defensive pressure, it's enough to take anybody down and out. So you got to feel for Jalen Brunson a little bit here. Also with Karl-Anthony Towns, 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists. Game 5 again is scheduled for Thursday night. But with Karl-Anthony Towns, yes, he gave you 24 and 12 and 3. Yes, he was very well yes, he did very good and very well in that second quarter. But Karl-Anthony Towns in foul trouble and picking up silly fouls and all of those things are just too combined together, too correlated together, too related. He cannot continue to pick up those fouls early in games because when he does that, he stops the Knicks momentum, he stops the Knicks offense, and he stops whatever offensive momentum the Knicks have or are building at that point in time. Karl-Anthony Towns needs to be smarter and more aware when he's out there on the floor. Because if he is, it could help the Knicks, his game, and honestly, his ability to stay out there longer, which could help him score more and have an even more impactful game for the Knicks, which is exactly what we need. But speaking about Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm almost at a loss for words. I'm sick to my stomach. I don't even want to talk about this because once you talk about things like this, it makes it even more real. But I guess it is real. Everybody watching the game, we saw it late in that fourth quarter. Karl-Anthony Towns trying to guard Aaron Nesmith. They bang knees. They both go down. But Karl-Anthony Towns, he goes down a lot worse. He's in a lot of pain. The Knicks challenge that play. After the challenge, the Knicks win. That's great, all good. But we see during that challenge that Miles Turner pushes Karl-Anthony Towns in the back and right into Aaron Nesmith. That one move pushes their knees together. Karl-Anthony Towns and knee issues. He's been dealing with knee issues for the entire season. Any Knicks fan knows that. Every Knicks fan sees this man limp almost every single game. He's not 100%. We all know that. He's dealing with some type of foot, knee, ankle, whatever injury. We all can see it. And then during that fourth quarter, he bangs knees. He goes down and he is writhing in pain, cannot get up. He's on the bench. Excuse me. He's on the bench, his jersey over his head. Nobody can see him. And he's just doing the motions you do when you are in so much pain. It is killing you. I don't know how. I don't even know why. But he goes back into the game and plays in the game, even though he is hobbled, even though he is injured, even though he doesn't look right and clearly does not need to be out there. And after the game, he is limping heavily to exit. And now his status for game 5 is absolutely up in the air. We have no idea what's it going to be. It could be questionable. It could be doubtful. He could be out. He could be playing. With Karl-Anthony Towns, you really never know. But seeing this injury, seeing how it looked, seeing them bang knees, it wasn't something you want to see. It's never something you want to see when you have Karl-Anthony Towns grabbing his knee like that. Shout out to Ian Bagley of SNY for giving us this following information here. According to him, Karl-Anthony Towns is being looked at by the Knicks medical staff after what appeared to be a knee injury. He is coming back into the game with a limp. Again, at that point, the Knicks were down 7 with 2 minutes and 11 to go. But as you can see there, Karl-Anthony Towns is just not good. Writhing in pain, holding that knee, limping off the court, limping off the court, my God, I can't talk today. Limping on the court, limping back off the court, always limping at some point in time when you see him after this play, because clearly that knee is messed up. He is not 100% right now, and this is very bad news for the Knicks. And as you can see there, a little note to the referees, F them refs is kind of the note there. If anybody was watching this game, some people might understand why that message was there, because there were a lot of calls, and I'm talking about a lot of calls during this game that were going against the Knicks that were just not called. At one point during this game, I felt like Aaron Nesmith could punch Jalen Brunson right in the face and they would never call anything. But if Jalen Brunson even waved his hand over Aaron Nesmith's head, it would be a foul and it would be called. He would be going to the line, out of bounds play, whatever you want to call it. It was just not even in the same realm of fairness when it came to that whistle during tonight's game. And I almost never mentioned that. But tonight, it almost looked deliberate. There was a certain situation, a certain time during this game where I thought it was the Knicks against the referees. Let's go to that situation real quick. Take a look at this sequence. This is from 8 minutes and 4 seconds to 7 minutes and 52 seconds. OG Anunoby, loose ball foul. Josh Hart, personal foul. Karl-Anthony Towns, personal foul. Josh Hart, shooting foul. That is 4 fouls in what? 20 seconds? 4 fouls? I can't believe that. Some of those weren't really even fouls. Some of those were absolutely not fouls. And I'm trying to think to myself here, why are they doing this? Why are they calling these things against New York when they're not doing it against Indiana? It almost looks blatant, like you're trying to give the game to the Pacers. Why? It just doesn't make any sense, and it still doesn't make sense. Those calls were egregious. They never needed to happen, and they put Indiana in the bonus at the 7-minute mark in the fourth quarter. How? How do you overcome that? How do you win like that when things like this are happening? Ridiculous. Somebody tell me how this is even possible. Absolutely horrendous. Horrendous. None of this this entire sequence made no sense. You can watch it in real time. It still doesn't make sense. Just drinking a little bit of water here, guys, and checking the YouTube stats. I appreciate you guys sticking with me here today and checking out the live stream. As I said, we're going to continue to break down all of these things and talk about these things. But yeah, as I said, they don't call a foul there, right? They call a foul there. Right here. They call a foul there. But they don't call a foul here. The Knicks have to utilize their challenge in order for them to review this foul and see that Miles Turner pushed Karl-Anthony Towns into Aaron Nesmith. And that's how the Knicks are able to win this challenge and get the ball. But what do we get in the process? A potentially injured Karl-Anthony Towns. And let me say this. If Karl-Anthony Towns is not 100%, if he's injured, if the Knicks do not have him for Game 5, the Knicks season is likely over because there is nobody we have on our roster that can be able to do the things that Karl-Anthony Towns can do. And the Pacers, mind you, if you watch the games, you know, there is nothing that they can do against Karl-Anthony Towns when he is down low and in control. The only time they get a hand on him is when he's out of control and forcing shots. But if he's not doing that, the Pacers have no answer for him. That's why Towns having this injury right now is extremely concerning for New York. Once we get more information about this injury in Towns, I promise you, we're going to break that down, update it for you guys, and let you know his status and where he stands. But let's go ahead and continue here because, again, there are a couple of other things to talk about for tonight's post-game show. And one of those things is what James L. Edwards has to say here. It's just a little bit of history, but it's something to note. James L. Edwards of The Athletic does state here, the Knicks will go down 3-1 in the ECF. No team has come back from a 3-1 deficit in the ECF since 1981. 17 turnovers for the Knicks, all costly, many unforced. This was a low turnover team all season long. And you know what? James L. Edwards is absolutely right about that. There is, let me just make sure I have everything covered that, and we're on this one. I have to make sure I was in the right order there. But like I said there, 17 turnovers for the Knicks, all costly, mainly unforced. This was a low turnover team all season. That is absolutely true. The Knicks usually are so good with the ball. They protect the ball. They do not turn the ball over. But 17 turnovers. 17. When you're not shooting the ball well, when you're allowing, when you're not shooting the ball well, when you're allowing when you are not shooting the ball well, when you are allowing the Pacers to shoot nearly lights out from the field, have open shot after open shot, drive inside, get easy buckets, have the ability to stop the clock and go to the line and get easy baskets like that as well too. And then on top of that, you're gifting them 17 turnovers. You're putting yourself in a position where it's almost impossible to win. And even though the Knicks did their best to try to stay in this game and made it a 6-point game at one point in this game late, we were not able to close out because every time you try to fight an uphill battle, you always get a little bit tired, and the other team, they turn it up and you just don't know how to respond. That's what the Pacers did. The Knicks had no answer, and now here we sit where New York is down 3-1, headed back to MSG for Game 5. It was just a devastating loss for New York, and the turnovers had a lot to do with it. Something else was Tyrese Halliburton and his play. Like we talked about earlier, 32, 15, and 12 with 4 steals. He also had 0 turnovers. I don't like Tyrese Halliburton. In fact, if you ask anybody, you'll know. For me, I dislike him almost as much as I dislike Trae Young. But I got to give credit where credit is due. He said he needed to be better. He promised he would be better. And then he gave the Pacers a superstar performance by shooting 62.4% from the field. By shooting 62.4%. His true shooting percentage, 32 points with 15 assists and 0 turnovers. Yeah, there's a reason he was one of the game leaders. And even though Jalen Brunson had 32 points, even though Jalen Brunson was 11 of 12 from the field, those 31 points did not feel the same way. It didn't feel as impactful as Tyrese Halliburton and his play. Tyrese was getting others involved. He was helping his team. He was trying to make his team better. And I thought he was getting them timely buckets when they needed those buckets. But there were some times Halliburton was trying to shoot that team out of the gym. He put up, I think sometimes 3 or 4 threes straight and missed all of them, but continued to do them. Some of those threes, okay, a lot of space. Some of those threes contested, but he still shot them. Some of those threes still contested, but he still shot them. Again, I'm not an Indiana fan, so I don't mind if he does that. But still, you got to give him some credit there because he absolutely cooked the Knicks and cooked everything they were trying to do. And Mikal Bridges, who was his primary defender tonight, had no answer for him. Nothing. Could not stop him. The only player that had some type of impact on him, even a little bit, I felt, was DeLon Wright. And maybe DeLon should be in the game more, and maybe that's an adjustment New York should make in the future. Maybe if we make that adjustment a little bit earlier. Maybe if we put a Deuce McBride in a little bit earlier. Maybe if we make those changes, maybe we're talking about a Knicks victory. It's all about rotations, lineups, and what's working. And if something's not working, you should change it. If something is working, you roll with it. I'm surprised Tom Thibodeau didn't really do that tonight. He went against what he essentially did in Game 3. No idea why. Because he did that in Game 3, and because of that, we won. He didn't do it in Game 4, and it was one of the main reasons we lost. Imagine that. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. We obviously, sorry about that. Did I cover that one already. We obviously broke down the quarter-to-quarter breakdown, so I won't spend too much time on it. We're going to go straight to the team stats after this, but I wanted to say 35-43 in that first quarter, that was telling. But that third quarter for me is where the Pacers blew this game open against New York. Very strong start, very strong finish, and then they were leading this game by as much as 15 points, dominating New York in each and every capacity. No matter how much New York tried to fight back, it did not matter. They always had an answer, and they won this game, as you can clearly see there. And obviously, they didn't do it only because of the referees and the abysmal foul calls that we already went over and we discussed. It was also because of some of these team fouls. You guys, you got to give me a quick second here. I think one of my screens here is a little bit messed up. So give me a second. I am going to, let's see here, put this up for you guys while I fix what I got going on here. So give me a second really quick. Ooh, my bad. Sorry. Give me a second. You guys might be seeing this on the fly. If you guys are, I apologize, but some of my images are too big right now, so I gotta resize them a bit here. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. All right, you might be seeing me do this on the fly. If you are, I apologize, guys, but some of these things I kind of rushed to get this post game together. So you might have to understand why this might be looking like this right now. So let me just see if I got that right here. Nope, still not good enough yet. Let's do that a little bit. Nope. 1 second, guys. I apologize about this little technical delay. Hope you guys will stick with me for a second. All right, that looks better. All right, we have another one, though, that's a little bit messed up, and that's this one here. Nope, it's not good. There we go. 1 second, guys. You guys are seeing the magic that happens when the screens are off. I appreciate you guys sticking with me, though. Just getting everything resized. I apologize. This is normally what I have to do when things are not looking correct. I think we can leave it like that for now, even though it's not perfect. I apologize, but thank you guys so much for sticking with me here. While I do that, since I have you guys here, might as well check out the room and see where we are here. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Shout out to everybody, by the way, who is checking in the post game right now, making this your post game and your Knicks channel for where you always get your Knicks content. I can't do any of my streams without the support of you guys. You guys are absolutely insane lately. I can't thank you guys enough. We just hit 29K subscribers on the channel. We're almost at 30K. Guys, I do this now full-time for my job. And the reason I can do that is because of you guys. I really do appreciate you. But let's continue here. We were here and we were talking about this, and we were talking about, obviously, some of the main reasons why New York lost this game. Obviously, not closing out quarters is one of them. Not making the right adjustments is one of them. The foul calls, obviously, are one of them. But it's also some of the play of our stars and the lack of plays of some of our stars. Now, with Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, now normally, well, what's going on here? There we go. Sorry about that. Everything was kind of screwed up there for a second. I apologize. Now, with Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, obviously, we kind of broke down what they did a little bit earlier, and we talked about what they did, their impact and things like that already, so I don't want to go over it a lot more right now. I may break it down a little bit more when we're talking about the full team stats, but let me say this about Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. They showed up in terms of trying to get the Knicks back on the map, and they definitely tried to do everything in their power to score, rebound, and try to do something to keep the Knicks into this game. I thought Jalen Brunson had a very good first quarter, even pretty well in terms of the second quarter when he came in and around the, when he came in around the 4-minute mark, because he didn't really play a lot of that quarter. I thought even when he came back, he was good and he was aggressive. I thought in that third quarter, he started to get a little bit stagnant, a little bit stale. And at that point, that's when I would have made a change, put DeLon Wright or somebody else in the game, see what happened at that point, and then bring Jalen Brunson back a little bit later, maybe in that fourth quarter. However, it didn't happen that way. Tom Thibodeau did what he did, and now we're talking about the same situation as we are. We broke down Karl-Anthony Towns, his contributions, and obviously him going down with that devastating knee injury. Thoughts and prayers go out to Karl-Anthony Towns. I hope he is okay. I hope it's nothing serious, and I hope he's available for Game 5. But for right now, his status is absolutely up in the air. We have no idea if he's going to play or not. In my heart, in my soul, I feel it. He's going to play in Game 5. That's just who he is. That is just who Karl-Anthony Towns is. But if he misses it, I can also understand that because he was writhing in pain, so much so that he was limping heavily. So we got to take that in both of those ways. But without further ado, because I know you guys love it, let's go ahead and break down the full team stats and player stats as well, too. So, like we always do, let me go to the stream, make sure I have everybody. Excuse me. Let me go to the stream to make sure I have everybody still here with me, because I can't see the numbers, unfortunately, because YouTube does not want to show me the numbers today. But thankfully, I can go to the stream and check it out. But let's go ahead and continue here and talk about the players and minutes breakdown. So, for the players and minutes breakdown here, Mikal Bridges, 34 minutes, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 or 5 from 3. So he was very good from 3 at this point in this game. But then 6 of 15 from the field. Efficient from 3, yeah, I guess. But when it mattered the most, especially in that fourth quarter, he made back-to-back threes and then missed a number of open shots, a number of open mid-ranges, and a number of open threes again. I don't know what happened to Mikal Bridges, but this up and down situation that we've been seeing with him, it's got to stop. It cannot continue. It is ridiculous. And the defense, he got cooked. Who was the primary defender on Tyrese Halliburton again? Was it not Mikal Bridges? Was it not Mikal? Because if it was Mikal, the primary, that means it was primarily his responsibility to stop Tyrese Halliburton from doing what he did. But he didn't. And Tyrese Halliburton dropped this 32, 15, 12, and 4 with 0 turnovers. Almost like it was too easy. Not good enough. OG Anunoby, talk about coming through. 40 minutes, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 7 of 16 from the field. Yes, I understand. He did not shoot the 3-ball extremely well. 1 of 7 from 3. But let me tell you this. He shot when he was open, and that's all you can count on. And even when you look at the numbers, 7 of 16, I like what OG Anunoby was doing. His defense was very good as well, too. One of the only players on the floor scrambling to other shooters, trying to get out to open shooters. That was OG Anunoby. Where other people were seen watching Anunoby, he was playing. And that's something to be admired. I like what OG Anunoby did during this game, and I'm just upset that we wasted a good OG game because he didn't really have a great game last time. Now he has a good game, and we can't even cash in on it. Unbelievable. With Karl-Anthony Towns, obviously 37 minutes played. Jalen Brunson, the same thing, 37 minutes played. Odd that Mitchell Robinson played 19 minutes with 7 rebounds and 6 points. I say it's odd because he played more minutes when he was off the bench before. With Precious Achiuwa, he played 2 minutes, not that much. The only reason he even played was because Karl-Anthony Towns was in foul trouble. He picked up 2 quick fouls in the first quarter. With Miles McBride, he played 15 minutes. I don't understand that at all. Josh Hart, 36 minutes, essentially playing starter minutes once again. Landry Shamet, 11 minutes. You like to see that. He did hit the 1-3, which I appreciate. Some good defense, but we don't even got to talk about the DNPs because I'm not going to talk about it. Let's talk about those. Excuse me. I'm not going to talk about the DNPs. Let's talk about those adjustments or lack thereof. 9 minutes for DeLon Wright. 15 minutes for Deuce McBride. Let me tell you what happened conversely in the other game, game 3. Robinson and Deuce McBride played, I don't know what. Robinson played around 20 plus minutes, and Deuce McBride played a little bit more than that, I believe, as well, too. Now this game, they're playing a lot less. Way less. It's down. The adjustments that were made in game 3, those same adjustments were not made in the same way for game 4. and it was one of the main reasons that we lost. DeLon Wright in those minutes. Was it just me, or did anybody see that crazy defense? That ridiculous defense. He had 2 steals in this game when he was playing. And yeah, I know, stole the ball and turned it over. I get it. Not what you want to see, but still, defensively, very, very good. Why didn't we see him to close out the game? Why didn't we see him for a long stretch of time? Why didn't we give him more minutes when clearly 13 minutes, 14 minutes might have been a little bit better for him, better for the Knicks, able to give the Knicks more stops and allow them to get back into the game? Sometimes when you look at things like that, you wonder why some adjustments weren't made, and it's a head scratcher. And for me, I'm scratching my head. I don't understand it. The minutes really don't make that much sense, because in game 3, when we split the minutes a little bit better, it helped New York. I don't get why Tom Thibodeau did this. And I hope that we get some type of answer as he's in the pregame. I hope we get some type of answer as he's in the postgame presser right now talking to the media. Only time will tell at that point in time. But that was the minutes and player breakdown as we have it at this point in time. Let's go ahead and talk about the stats here now. A lot of stats should jump off the page to you right away. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that stand out to me. And here are the stats that stand out to me. They are the main reasons why the Knicks lost this game. I'm not going to break down every stat that's a problem or a main issue, but I am going to break down the main stats, the main reasons why New York lost this game to the Pacers. Number 1, field goal shooting percentage. The Pacers shot 51.1%. The Knicks shot 46.3%. That was a reason New York lost the game. Another reason the Knicks lost this game: assists. I can't say it enough. I cannot say this line enough times. I'm probably a broken record at this point. The Knicks had 17 assists in this game. In comparison, the Indiana Pacers had 29 assists. 29 team assists. It's no wonder that they beat the Knicks. New York does not have the roster to only pass the ball 17 times. We don't have the roster to do that. If we are going to win games, we need to pass the ball at the very least, on average, 25 times. Because that's the type of roster that we have. A roster that can run, that can cut, and that can thrive like that. And if we're able to find them like that, New York is better because of it. But if you're not passing the ball, then what motivation is there for any player to cut? Why would anybody cut? Nobody's going to want to make those passes. Nobody's going to want to make those movements, make those cuts, do all of that work, and never get rewarded. Never get the ball. Never get it passed to you. And a lot of times, that's what's happening. 17 assists as a team is an embarrassment. That is terrible. The Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're passing the ball that much. Something's got to be done about that. That should be the number one thing that Tom Thibodeau talks about with this team during film session. You got to pass the ball more. What are you doing? Turnovers, we already talked about it. We can highlight it again. 17-11. That, for me, is the major reason, probably the biggest reason the Knicks lost this game. 17 turnovers. And then talk about the amount of points the Pacers scored off of those turnovers. It's bad. And lastly, the biggest reason the Knicks lost this game? Fast break points. What's a fast break point? Usually coast to coast or rushing really fast up the floor, beating everybody else. And 1 second. 1 second, guys. I got somebody knocking on my door. 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. I had somebody knocking on my door. I apologize about that. I got to keep it a little bit down because, again, it's at 12 at night right now. So these pregame shows, as we guys know, it gets a little bit crazy. So I'm going to try to do my best here because you know how I get so excited sometimes that it goes crazy with the noise at times. So just so I don't get any type of eviction notice, I'm going to try to go as quickly as I possibly can here. So give me 1 second as I try to convene here. Forget the point I was at when I was talking to you guys just now, because that whole thing kind of turned me around there. So give me 1 second. Let me check out the YouTube number streams here to make sure I'm good. Okay, I appreciate you guys. I know it's a little bit late, so I appreciate you guys staying with me here. Let's see here. We were talking about the fast break points. There we go. So the fast break points, that was the main reason. Not the main reason, but the fast break points. 9 fast break points for the Knicks. 22 fast break points for the Pacers. I mean, that is incredibly terrible. You know what a fast break point is? You know what that is? It's a transition bucket. It's essentially scoring in transition. That is essentially what a fast break point is. And if New York is not able to score in transition, not able to get easy buckets on the Pacers, it just is another reason why they are going to lose games moving forward, because they're not able to score easily. They're not able to get easy baskets. If you even look at what Jalen Brunson is trying to do, what Karl-Anthony Towns is trying to do, what some of our all-stars are trying to do, some of our role players are trying to do, the defense from the Pacers, it is on another level at times. They are hounding our players, making it difficult on us. And when they are helping, we are not taking advantage of that help because the spacing we are not taking advantage of that help because the spacing that New York has out there at times, it is poor. We are not allowing ourselves to take open 3-point shots when we're getting doubled. And sometimes the Pacers are playing so good defense inside, they are causing turnovers, and that is allowing them to run, fast break, all of those transition points, and it's easy basketball for them. New York, we're not getting those same type of baskets. We're not getting those same type of plays. And because of that, it is hurting New York. So if you want to look at some of the stats tonight, and you want to look at some of the reasons why New York lost, they allowed the Pacers to shoot open threes, open shots, a lot of space. They did not pass the ball enough. 17 turnovers and 9 fast break points to their 22 fast break points. Unbelievable. And that right there is the game for New York. And then, if that's not bad enough, Karl-Anthony Towns goes down with a knee injury. No idea what his status is going to be. With with OG Anunoby, it looked like, I forget what player, but it looked like a player fell on his ankle. He was not looking great after that, but he stayed in the game. No idea of his status. So we're going to have to wait for updates from the Knicks so we can get all of this information and all of this stuff going on. What is Sean saying? I'm looking at the chat now. Sean is saying, soundproof the room. Shh, I'm trying to keep quiet. I'm not trying to go loud. That's why this stream is about to end very soon. Another reason why I try to keep the post games as short as possible. But I appreciate you, Sean, for checking it out for me. But I'm trying my best right now. But I appreciate you. And I appreciate the chat going off right now. But yeah, this is where we are right now. The Knicks. Man, I can't believe it, man. But this is where we are right now. The Knicks, unfortunately, drop game 4 to the Indiana Pacers in this horrible fashion. We are now down 3-1, going back to MSG for game 5. And obviously, like every game moving forward it's a must-win game. If New York loses game 5, our series is over. It will be a gentleman's sweep for the Indiana Pacers. And obviously, the New York Knicks do not want that. They want to do better. They want to still be in this fight. They want to still be in this game. But how can they do that if they are allowing all of these things for the Pacers? It is just not going to happen that way. New York needs to do a better job defensively, needs to do a better job with adjustments, needs to do a better job with protecting the ball and not turning over the ball so many times, and making sure that they are shooting with confidence, shooting open shots, and moving the ball. 17 assists as a team is absolutely horrendous, and the Knicks must do better. But let me say this, because we're going to close out. I'm not going to go to the chat because I obviously have to go because I don't want to be too loud for my neighbors. And I can't do the roundup today. So unfortunately, I'm going to try to do a lot of videos tomorrow morning, or it's whenever I can get a chance, and drop those things for you guys tomorrow whenever I get a good chance to do that. But let me say this. The Knicks did not play their best brand of basketball tonight. They did not do the game plan that clearly they wanted to do. They failed to make the adjustments at the right time in the game. But a series is how many games? A series can go all the way to 7 games. And the only way for one team to beat another team is to beat them 4 times. Bravo to the Indiana Pacers. They stole game 1. They beat us in game 2. And then game 4, they did what they needed to do in front of their crowd, and they won game 4. And now they have full control of this series, 3-1. But this Knicks team is not out. We are not down. And we are not going to give up. We are not going to get out of this fight. We are still in this. 4. You got to beat us 4 times. You did it 3 times. And this last win, game 4, it was soul crushing because you beat us. You beat us down. You did it your way. And we might have lost one of our all-stars in the process. But even though our backs are against the wall, we're dealing with all of this, and we're still reeling off of this game 4 loss. Don't count us out. Don't doubt the Knicks. Don't say the season is over. 3-1 does not mean the series is over. 3-1 means that it just got even more difficult for the Knicks to win this series. 3-1 is hard. Many teams do not come back from it. But is it impossible? No. Teams have done it before. And if I'm going to put my faith in any team, if I'm going to believe in any team, I'm going to choose to do it for the New York Knicks. This team, this roster that has brought us here and got us all the way to that has brought us here and got us all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. It may look hopeless. It may look impossible. You may want to give up, and I understand why. But I'm not there yet. I can't be there yet. And I won't be there until someone forces me to be there, until I actually get a reason to be there. And as of right now, I am not there yet. You have to knock us out if you want us out of this game. And as of right now, we still have life in us, and we are not done yet. But what about you guys? What do you think about the Indiana Pacers beating the New York Knicks 130 to 121 in the Eastern Conference Finals? And now they're taking the lead 3-1. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.